Up, guys? The Bench Buddies are back, and today we will be doing another Bracketology video, thanks to Joe Lunardi. It's updated as of yesterday, January 18th, so it's going to be updating tomorrow by the time you guys probably see this. And right now, there's just been lots of upsets, and we're going to get right into the top overall seed. It could be Gonzaga or Auburn, and I think right here you're going with Auburn just because of how hot they've been, ever since that loss to UConn. And I don't know. I think for first team out, Texas A&M is a team that could slowly creep into not even in this conversation. The SEC, they're loaded with great teams this year. I think they're 15-2, 15-3, this Texas A&M team. A team that's flying way under the radar here. And they have a big game tonight against Kentucky. You win that game, and they're out of this conversation for sure. And then you got Florida, another SEC team who pretty much has been non-existent since their, preseason ranking. But just making enough noise to, scrape into the tournament. But Ty, as we go to the bubble teams, where are you drawing some interest here in teams that can make a run?
Interesting to see Oregon. The fact that they're already projected in is very good for them because I just see them, continuing this upward trend. And they've started pretty terrible compared to their expectations. So if they're already in right now, look for them to continue to rise. Wake Forest is a team that I still have doubts about them. I'll say them and TCU, I could see possibly sliding out of the field. And don't sleep on Michigan. Joe Lunardi just, released his new bubble today. Michigan's not next four out, but they're the next team after the next four out. So look for them to potentially rise into the field.
And then speaking of that next four out, I think what's interesting here is you have St. Bonaventure and Memphis, two preseason AP, top 25 teams, looking to scrape back into the tournament. I know there's still 2 months to go. Memphis, it seems like every year they're in this situation. And St. Bonaventure, really had high expectations, and they just haven't been living up to them. But Florida State there, you see them. They got the huge win last night against Duke, so they will for sure be at least in the first four out or last four in. But we're going to move right into the 68-team bracket here, and we'll talk about these first four games. That Oregon-Florida game will probably be a good game, and I'm not really sure on that Mississippi State-TCU game. That one could really go either way. Pretty much just a coin flip because no one really knows how good that's going to be.
I would say Oregon handles Florida there. I think Oregon's playing much better right now.
And if you look here, we'll start on the Midwest. I'll go first. Auburn, I think, can cruise to a Sweet 16, but if they play Loyola, that could be a game that they could get tripped up because Loyola is playing really good basketball this year. Texas Tech, I think, cruises the Sweet 16 as well. Ohio State's been really up and down, and those two teams I don't really see pulling off an upset. And then Wisconsin, pretty easy three other teams in the bracket, I would say. Creighton, USC, South Dakota State, all these teams have been started to, come back down to earth. And I think what's going to be the best, mini region in this one is the 2 and 7. Kansas is good this year, we know that, but Seton Hall and Miami could give them a run for their money. And I'll take Miami from this region to play Wisconsin, but I just don't think it'll be enough. I think Wisconsin will move to the Elite Eight and win this region over Auburn.
Okay, I like it. So I'm going a lot of chalk in the first round here, although I do see Creighton knocking off USC. USC, I said it in our last video, they are frauds. They'll continue to fall this year. So I see Creighton beating them. Like you said, Loyola, they could give Auburn trouble. I don't think they can beat Auburn. Auburn has too many athletes for them. So I also have Auburn and Texas Tech. They're in the Sweet 16. I'm going to go with Kansas, and let's see what I got here. I got Wisconsin. So the top four seeds in the Sweet 16. And I think Texas Tech upsets Auburn, but give me Kansas over Auburn, Kansas to the Final Four.
And then moving over to the West side, we got Gonzaga, obviously, is the number one seed. And UCLA is that 2 seed, which is still kind of surprising. But I really am kind of thinking all chalk here. There's Iowa State again at the 5 seed, who I think is just going to be right around anywhere from 4 to 6 seed all year, in the tough Big 12. And I think the team to look out for in this, region is San Francisco at 10. A team, that is going to give Gonzaga a fit in their conference. And there's always a mid-major team that, can rally off a win or two in the tournament. So I'm going San Francisco to the Sweet 16 here. You kind of surprising upset. UCLA, I think their magic runs out after last year. And they'll be playing Illinois in the Sweet 16. And up top, I think it's going to be LSU and Gonzaga. Nothing really, different happening there except Oklahoma could give Gonzaga a tough test, but I just think Gonzaga's too physical with Chet Holmgren, and they'll win that one. And moving to the Elite Eight, it'll be Gonzaga versus, I think you got to go with Illinois. And I really want to see that Kofi Coburn versus Chet Holmgren matchup. And I think Illinois will be able to pull it off, with Curbelo back. If he stay healthy and the whole team stays healthy, this Illinois team is trending in the right direction. And I think it's going to be 2 Big Ten teams so far in the Final Four.
Yeah, I'm going to go a different direction here, but I do think this is probably the weakest of the 4 regions. I see a lot of upsets here. To start it off, I'm going to say Iowa State and LSU both lose first round. Get them out of here. Chattanooga, Oakland, second round matchup, just what everyone predicted at the start of the year. The rest, I guess, I see chalk other than Oklahoma winning in the first round. Give me Gonzaga against Chattanooga, Sweet 16. I'm going to go a couple upsets here. Alabama upsets Illinois. UConn, they're playing some underrated basketball. I think they upset UCLA. So I'm going to say, let's say Alabama goes all the way to the Elite Eight to play Gonzaga, but Gonzaga has way too much. And, from my predictions here, it's an easy road to the Final Four for Gonzaga out of the West.
Moving down to the East, we got Arizona as the 1 seed, who a team was unranked and really nobody talked about coming into the year. And Duke at the 2, but they'll probably fall in the latest one, just because they lost on the road yesterday. But after that, just looking at this region, I think Michigan State could, really make a run with that easy matchup. I think they'll make it to the Sweet 16. They can beat all those teams. And if Arizona does come out, that's really the only team that's going to give them a tough test. But I really think Michigan State has an easy road to the Elite Eight. But then you get to the other half, and I think you're going to have Murray State upset Texas, Villanova move on and beat Murray State to get the Sweet 16. And I think Duke cruises, doesn't matter who they play, Iowa or St. Mary's. Should be a good game, though, but I think Duke will make the Sweet 16. And then I think you got to go with Villanova here. This team, was ranked or their only losses have been to ranked teams at the time this year. And I think the tide's going to turn in these next 2 months when they start playing the Big East teams that are going to be ranked, and they'll be in prime shape for the tournament. So you got Villanova, Michigan State, and I'm going with Villanova. And I'm not just saying that because I like Michigan, but I just think Villanova has too much talent, with Gillespie, returning for it seems like his 17th year. I think, he's finally going to get one more shot at a title.
Yeah, so this region I think is one of the strongest. It's one of the 2 strongest for sure. I'm going to go with West Virginia in an upset, and I'm going to go with Oregon beating Xavier in the first round. Oregon is much better right now than a 12 seed. Xavier, I think, is a little, I'm not going to say overseeded, but I don't think they're good enough to compete with an Oregon right now. I actually think Oregon is going to upset Michigan State. Might be a little biased there. I'm taking Oregon to the Sweet 16. Just what have you done for me lately? Oregon just beat UCLA. Michigan State just lost to Northwestern. Give me Oregon. This is if the tournament was today. So I'm going to go Oregon to the Sweet 16. I'm gonna have Duke and Villanova play each other, Arizona and Oregon. So I'm gonna say Villanova is gonna beat Arizona in the Elite Eight. I just think Villanova's playing really great right now. And if you take out the start of their season, now they have a lot more depth. So I think they win this region.
And it seems like every region, there's one region every year that has lots of upsets. And for me, it's the South. Baylor cruises to the Sweet 16. They'll play Indiana in the round of 32. But this is where it gets interesting. Ionia and Louisiana Tech are both going to pull off upsets for me. I know Houston's been playing really well, but Sasser come tournament time is going to be the big difference of not having him. And I think it's going to hurt him. So you're going to have Ionia beat Louisiana Tech. And it's going to be Ionia versus Baylor. Baylor should cruise to the Elite Eight. And the bottom, here we go again. North Carolina, they just get blown out by good teams. And I don't see them lasting long in the tournament. They may win this game. I think that's a coin flip game, but Purdue will just handle them. So Purdue's moving to Sweet 16, and Purdue will be playing Providence. I think Kentucky will win, and it'll be Kentucky Providence. But I think Providence, my kind of sleeper team of the year, besides Texas, I really think Providence can make a run, but it's going to be not enough to beat Purdue. They just have too much size. And I think the best game of the tournament will be this Elite Eight game of Baylor and Purdue. Unfortunately, they are in the same region, which, a lot of people could see as a championship matchup right now. Just seeing how good Baylor's been and then how good Purdue is getting still to this day. And I'm going to go with Baylor here. I think you just can't bet against the defending champions. And I think they're coming out of the South.
Yeah, this is another strong region. East and South, I think, are the two best for sure. I'm going to go Baylor onto the Sweet 16. No trouble there. I'll say Indiana, I guess, beats BYU. I agree with Tennessee losing first round. They just have, really kind of hobbled through January, other than beating Arizona way back. Since that game, they've struggled. So I'll go Baylor versus Houston in the Sweet 16. I know they don't have Sasser, but I think they limped their way through two mid-majors to get to Baylor. Let's see. Let's go Marquette over North Carolina, who just laid an egg last night. Sweet 16, I'm going to go Kentucky and Purdue down there. So I'll go back to the top. Baylor beats Houston pretty easily, injured Houston team. I'm going to say Kentucky beats Purdue. Kentucky's playing maybe the best basketball in the country right now. And I think Kentucky, if the tournament was played right now, I'm sending Kentucky through to the Sweet 16. I think they shock Baylor and win the South.
And moving up to that Final Four right there, for me, I have Wisconsin out there, and then top right, I got Illinois. And then we just talked about these bottom two here. I have Villanova, and I said I have Baylor. So we're going to start on the left here. We're going to go Wisconsin versus Villanova. I think it's I don't know. I think you could either say it's going to be really high scoring or it's going to be really low scoring. Just depends on the night. And for this one, I think it's going to be a high scoring game. Johnny Davis, Colin Gillespie, these games this is going to be a great game. And I think, Wisconsin has some magic in them this year. And I think they're moving to the Natty. And it'll be a good matchup. And they'll be playing the winner of Baylor and Illinois. And I think it's going to be a Big Ten matchup in the championship. We're going to have Illinois and Wisconsin facing off for an instant classic. And I'm going to go with Wisconsin winning it all. I think they finally, break a curse of winning a championship. It seems like they can always get there, but they just can't, pull it through, at least in the last 10 years, always making those runs.
All right. I like the Big Ten Final Four there, or championship. But so I have Kansas and Villanova in one matchup, Gonzaga and Kentucky. So I'll start with Kansas, Villanova. These are two great matchups, but I'm going to go with Villanova and to give them the edge over Kansas. Kansas has, 10, 11 deep of great talent, but it just seems like they struggle through a lot of these games. Last night, another long scoring drought. They've had a lot of those this year. Can't have that against Villanova. They don't turn the ball over. They don't make mistakes. Villanova beats Kansas. I'm going to take Kentucky. You know, that's a tough one. Gonzaga, Kentucky. Give me Gonzaga. Gonzaga scored 110 games in a row. Give me Gonzaga if the tournament was right now. And I am going to take Gonzaga to finally get over the hump and win the national championship. They have all the talent. You know, I just think if they were to get to the championship game again, I don't think they would lose it a second time in a row. So give me Gonzaga right now.
And here is the conference breakdown. You know, right now the Big 12 and Big 10 and SEC, Big East are dominating. You know, it seems like they always are. And once again, it's just like football. The Pac-12 is almost non-existent. And, you know, that ACC number of 4, I think will change by the time. I think it'll probably be around 6 as, you know, teams start to really find themselves come tournament time. But, you know, after that, it's just going to kind of be all the automatic qualifiers. And that's going to be it for us today. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button. Let us know in the comments who you guys have winning it all. But until the next time, the Bench Buddies are out.
She never called back.